Pulling a nice little bend in the rod. Oh, full arse over tit here. There we go. Hello folks, very warm welcome back to the channel. Check it out once again, back out on the pebbles. But today our quarry is a little different than what we've been fishing for in recent times. We're looking for the old toothy critters, and we are hopefully gonna maybe winkle one or two shore tope out. Fingers crossed. I am fishing with 2 rods on fresh mackerel baits, half mackerels, hoping, as I say, to see if I can't pick up a tope off the shore. I am doing something a little different to what I generally do, which I tend to never do, but I've got a third rod with me and I've got a bucket load of crabs, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to move my third rod just down the beach a little and whack that out with the crabs on, because there are also the chance of catching quite a few smooth hounds. Let me just move that straight. It's bugging me. There is quite a good chance of catching a few smooth hounds, and in fact that's what the tope are doing around this area, is coming in eating the smooth hound pups typically. So I'm going to stick that third rod out on crab baits just to keep me occupied through the day, and of course where I'm filming maybe get 1 or 2 fish if we do blank out on the tope. Ordinarily, if I was fishing without the cameras, I'd probably just stick with 2 rods and wouldn't bother with the third rod, but you all want to see 1 or 2 fish on the bank, so fingers crossed he's Mr. Tope, but you just never know. It's not an easy task, as we all know, trying to catch a tope from the shore. I'm going to do my damnedest for you. Sit back and enjoy. I'll show you the rigs and whatnot in a short while, but I'm just going to get myself set up, ready, cast out, fishing, and then we'll run through everything. Let's do this. So here's the rig I'm going to be casting out on both rods. I've got jumped up pulley rigs, quite long pulley rigs, about 4 feet, down to the business end, where I've got, as you can see, an absolute oozing, juicy head of a fresh mackerel, and that is clipped down. I have got a rotten bottom system on there as well, because there are a few boulders out there scattered about, and I'd rather lose a lead than lose me lot. And that's it. The one thing that I would just point out here is, look, you can see there I've got Sakuma 7-strand wire on there, 100-pound wire, and that is my biting tray. So I've got my normal snood going down to a power swivel, and then I've got that wire biting trace because I do not want to get obviously bit off by any toothy critters. Let's bang this one out and hopefully we can get into a bit of action. 1 bite would be a dream. You're only fishing for 1 bite. So for those of you who don't know what rotten bottom is and what the principle of a rotten bottom is basically a weak link that you attach your lead onto your rig with that will allow you to snap off the lead without losing your whole rig if you get caught in the rocks. When you're fishing rocky areas, invariably the lead ends up jammed a lot of the time in amongst the rocks, and you will lose a hell of a lot of rigs and shock leaders and mainline without a rotten bottom system. Now, the rotten bottom that I like to use are these clips that you buy. I think they're from Breakaway, but or Gemini even, I'm not sure who makes them, but anyway, they're these little rotten bottom clips, and what they are, brilliant, ingenious design. If you see there, I've got my imp at the top there where I'm clipped onto. That's my rig body up this side. The lead is attached to this rotten bottom clip here. Now, when the water hits the rotten bottom clip, it pushes it up, opens the clip, and the lead comes loose. And then what you have is a lighter length of line with a few half-hitch knots tied into it as well to make it even weaker. So you're left with that at the bottom of your rig body. Now, if your lead then gets caught, when you're pulling, you will literally pull for a break and you'll break this off most of the time rather than losing your whole setup. And of course, if you've got a good fish on as well, and it drags you through the rocks and this gets caught, this will pull off and the fish stays on the rod also. So it's a really good system when you're fishing rough ground or rocky and bouldery ground, rotten bottom. Get yourself familiar with it if you're not. And yeah, there you go. Obviously you're going to lose 1 or 2 leads along the way, but the way I'm fishing, you know, for these sort of fish, you're just basically casting the rod out and leaving it out there for long periods of time. So you're not losing leads every 5 minutes. It's just a case of sitting it out and waiting. There you have it, the rotten bottom system. Right on my left rod, folks. Tap on my left rod. Have a watch of that left rod there, people. Whoa, that was me there kicking it. That's gone a bit slack, just winding a little. Take the slack up a bit. That's slacked again. There we go, we've got a knot going on the left hand rod. That's slackened again. I'm just going to pick the rod up. Just give me a little bit of a drop back there. I'm going to wind and see if there's something on here, folks. We're in. We are in. I don't think we've got a tope on. By any means, I think we've probably got either a huss. Well, you're going to have to do it. Go down. This will be a huss. There we go. Right, there we go. Vomiting up everywhere. There we go, folks. A wiry old bull-ass, first cast. Lovely stuff. Look at the gnashers on that lot. Beautiful. Oh well, that's first cast out, so very pleased with that. It's beat the blank straight off. Now we can start concentrating on getting one of these big toothy fish. Lovely job. Let's go and drop this one back. Wiry old things, these huss anyway. Not normally got an issue with getting them back. Oh, don't bite me. Here we go. Whoosh. And away. Right, here goes the fur rod now. This is the crab bait going out. This is just a little thumb rod whilst we're waiting for the big rods to go, maybe. I'm just going to try to punch this one out over the rocks and whatnot out there. That should do it. I'm going to pop this one up on the bait runner and just let this fish itself out. Look, folks, that's the crab bait. A couple of knocks. There you go, see that? Tap, tap, tap. Tap, 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 tap. We're in, guys. We're in. Oh, just dropped it. Just had a bit of a whack on the crab bait there. Another tap there. Just wait and see. Yeah, it looks like we've got a fish on here. Yeah, we're in. Oh yeah. Haha, nice. Tighten that drag a little. That gives me a nice bit of resistance when I hit into it. Start making our way over the beach here. Ooh. That's pulling a nice little bend in the rod. We'd say we're attached to an hound, almost certainly. Oh, full arse over tit here. There we go. Just bolting a bit of line there as well. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. Feels quite solid, but it's only the Ziplex Profile M rod, which is not overly heavy, but it does feel nice. Shock lead is there, starting to cross in the tide now. Just going to slacken off a bit just in case it goes for another whiz. Whizzing along. Let's get this working. Up with some waves. And we'll go again. Doesn't look like a bad pound. There we go. Just hold it there. Pull that up. Oh yeah, nice solid fish that. Lovely. There we go, folks. A beautiful hound, that one. I dropped this on the jiggers because I always misjudge these smooth hounds where they're so solid, and it was exactly 10 pounds. Just scraped over 10 pounds. So yeah, if you have a look at it, really nice fish on the light action rod. Beautiful fish. Lovely, lovely to pass the time while I'm waiting for the bite off the big rods. Let's go and drop this one back. I just had a few little knocks on this mackerel head rod, but certainly not the type of knocks that I'm after, I don't think. Probably a dogfish. I've had a couple of doggies on the other rod now. Hopefully they don't come out in force and plague me. I had that one aborted run on the mackerel head. It feels like this is probably sat in a snag now. No, it's not in a snag. It's into a fish. We're into something, folks. There's definitely some weight there. It's a bleaming. It's a little huss by the looks of things. A small huss. Yeah, it is a little huss. That's huss number 2. This one is a little bubba, and he's puking all over the place. I'm going to go and sling him straight back. I'm going to bring it in because it's either been completely done, or it might have one hanging on the end, who knows. A huss, that is. Certainly not a tope hanging on the end. But it was giving me some really good knocks. I put the rod back in the hold hole, and then the other rod shot off. So It was a little mad 5 minutes. There we go. That's popped off. Well, with the tide ebbing away and the sun high in the sky, that's about time to call it. Unfortunately, we didn't get our tope today, although we did have that one pull down and run, which I do think was a tope. But we've had a nice huss, had a nice hound, dropped a nice hound, messed around and lost a nice hound also, and had a second huss with a few doggies. So it's not been a bad day, although it's not been the very best. But if you're not in it, you can't win it, and we will definitely be back to try again. I hope you've enjoyed it. We'll see you again next week. Thank you very much for watching. Ciao for now, folks.